Hi guys, my name is Leo. This is the Wrestling Retrospective, and today I will be reviewing the Royal Rumble 2022. So Roman Reigns vs Seth Rollins kicked off the show. I thought this match was match of the night by far. The way it started with Seth coming out to the Shield music, doing the Shield entrance, I thought was great, and you could tell it really got into the head of Roman Reigns. Some highlights for the match for me was right at the start when it seemed like Seth was going to win very quickly, hitting a curb stomp but only just getting the 2 count. I thought that the callback to Money in the Bank 2016, I think it was, when Seth Rollins won the WWE Championship from Roman Reigns with the spear turned into a pedigree, was a really good callback. And though I thought a DQ finish wasn't the way it was going to go, I think it fit the story well for future matches between them, with Roman refusing to release the guillotine after Seth got to the ropes. Added on after the match when Roman hit Seth in the back with a chair, referencing to the Shield breakup. I thought that was a good way to finish the match. Well, finish that part of the show. And yeah, it just sets up for their future matches. I thought it was really good. But yeah, for me, match of the night. So next up is the Women's Royal Rumble. I thought out of the 2 Rumbles, this was the better one. Some highlights for me was Mickie James getting the really good exposure for Impact, being announced as the Knockouts champion, using hardcore country as a music. I thought that was really good. Liv Morgan as a whole, I thought she put in a great performance. She lasted 37 minutes in the Rumble, and she was a real standout. I know she didn't last longest, because I think Bianca Belair clocked in at 42 minutes, but out of everyone in the Rumble that lasted a long time, she was the one that really stood out for me. A few negatives. Tamina constantly stopping eliminations while she was in it got annoying after a while, with the concept of, you want others to be eliminated, so why would you stop them? And the legends, other than Lita, Mickie James, the Bella Twins and Michelle McCool, the legends didn't really get much of a look in as far as the Rumble went. They were quickly eliminated, which I didn't really like. They got their quick pop and then were eliminated. Cameron, for example, and Ivory, it just didn't make any sense as to bringing them in and then straight away eliminated. It just seemed like a waste of time. But yeah, Ronda overall won, which I thought going in might happen, but if they'd managed to keep it a secret a bit better and no one knew she was going to come in and win, it would have been much better. But hopefully it'll set up for Becky versus Ronda for WrestleMania instead of Ronda versus Charlotte. I think we've been waiting for Becky versus Ronda for 2 years now, and it's what they should have originally gone with instead of the triple threat in the main event of WrestleMania. So yeah, I just think Ronda was a good winner, but maybe someone else could have done better off with it. Maybe Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair for being the first 2-time winner. But no, I'm not against the decision. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty good Rumble. So after that, the next match was Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. I thought Becky Lynch was a clear winner here. I had no doubt that, as I said in the prediction today, I don't think Doudrop was ready to win the championship. She might be one day, but not at the minute. Becky's just way too hot as a champion, I think. The match itself, it was good, pretty average in my opinion. It kind of reminded me of when Big Show was a heel back in 2012, and it was trying to topple the bigger opponent for the champion. But I said pretty average. Some highlights: the leg drop with Doudrop hanging over the top rope, that was pretty good, and the finish with the avalanche manhandle slam, that was pretty good. But yeah, not a lot to say about this one. Pretty average, as I've said. But yeah, happy with Becky retaining. Next up was the match I was looking forward to the most: Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. And this was a good match. I did really enjoy it. Not as much as Roman and Seth, but genuinely thought it was a great match. Some highlights for me were the stalemate of strength to start the match between Bobby and Brock, and you could see by the look on Lesnar's face that he was starting to take Bobby seriously as an opponent. Another highlight was the transition that Bobby did from being in a suplex position to take a German suplex from Brock, and he transitioned it into the hurt lock. And you could see again that Brock was very close to passing out, but did eventually get out of it by taking out the ref by pulling Bobby into the corner with the referee, which made the referee stumble. He got him up for the F5 and took the referee out completely. This then opened up a spot for Roman Reigns to spear Lesnar, and then he went to Paul Heyman, and Heyman passed him the championship belt, of which Roman hit Brock with it to cost him the match. I thought this was really good storytelling between Heyman, Roman and Brock, and I got a feeling I kind of predicted as I was watching it that Brock would then enter the Rumble later on, which he did. But I think that made it a bit too predictable for the men's Rumble, but we'll talk about that when I get to it. But this overall, good match, good storytelling, and yeah, probably one of the highlights of the night. After that, we had Edge and Beth Phoenix versus the Miz and Maurice. Again, this match pretty average. It was one of the matches I wasn't really looking forward to, when it felt more like a Raw main event than it did a pay-per-view match, but that's just my opinion. To start the match, Maurice running away from Beth was good selling for Beth. It made her look very intimidating, and it's how I kind of expected the match to start, especially with Maurice and Beth starting the matches. Another highlight for me, Beth facing off with Miz to cause a distraction so Maurice could hit Beth in the back with the purse that had a brick in it, even though there was never any proof that there was a brick in the purse, but it did suggest it on the Raw the week before. Beth Phoenix powerbombing Miz was good, and then Maurice in return doing a Hurricane Rana to Edge was also good, and something I did not expect. I kind of expected Beth to do something to Miz, but for Maurice to take out Edge I did not expect at all, so that was a nice surprise. And the fact that she looked surprised that she did it, let alone the audience, just made it an even bigger moment. Another thing that was really stood out was the selling from Miz of the double spear from Beth and Edge. The way he just his legs went up in the air for ages and then eventually fell back down. And obviously the double glam slam to finish off the match. Again, I thought it was good. I'm kind of hoping this ends the feud between Edge and Miz so they can move on to bigger programs for WrestleMania. But yeah, overall decent, nothing to complain about really. And finally, the main event of the night was the men's Royal Rumble. For the first few entrances, probably say till about number 8 or 9, not really much happened. It was just an average Rumble. No one, I think 2 people got eliminated, in Bobby Roode and someone else. Can't remember exactly who it was. My apologies. Then get number 9, Johnny Knoxville came in. That was good. It was exactly what it was supposed to be. It was a laugh. I did expect him to do a bit more, but then the reports of him having some kind of brain injury explains why he probably didn't do as much as he possibly wanted to or was supposed to do. I mean, he had a stand up with AJ Styles and took out Sami Zayn, which I thought was good. But yeah, I was kind of hoping for more, but understandable, why not. A big moment for me, Madcap Moss eliminating AJ Styles, which was doubly as annoying as he was my pick to win the match. Easy for me to say. But yeah, I was surprised it was going to be Madcap Moss that eliminated him. I expected him to. I think if anyone was going to eliminate, I thought it was going to be Omos or someone who would go on to win it, like a Brock Lesnar or Drew McIntyre or something like that. But no, quite a shock with that one. During the match, obviously, Kofi Kingston completely botched his save into the ring, which was a shame. But, when you try and do stuff like that, it's not always going to go right. So it is what it is. Bad Bunny being a surprise entrance. I think it was number 27 he was. Was good. I think, again, he put in a good showing, proving that not all celebrities are rubbish at the wrestling when they come in. We went back and forth with a few people, did a Canadian Destroyer on Riddle. But yeah, looked very good, and it wouldn't surprise me if he had a match at WrestleMania, to be honest with you. And Lesnar winning, I think after the WWE Championship match, it was way too predictable that was going to happen, and it kind of took away from the excitement of the Rumble, especially as Lesnar came out at number 30. But it's clearly going to set up Roman versus Brock at WrestleMania, which I don't know whether it's something I'd want, but I'm sure it would be a good match either way. But yeah, overall, it wasn't a great Rumble in fairness. It was pretty deflating as a main event. I would have had the women go on last, especially with Ronda coming back during it as well. I think that would have been better off as the main event. But yeah, the match itself was okay. Lesnar wins. So now we look towards WrestleMania. So overall, I thought this was a pretty decent pay-per-view in fairness. As I said, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins was a highlight. So it was Lashley and Brock. And the Women's Rumble was good as well. I enjoyed the three of them. Beth and Edge versus Miz and Maurice and Becky and Doudrop. I wasn't really that interested about them overall. I feel like there could have been a better match there instead. And then those two happen on Raw. But it is what it is. I thought the Beth would have been a good pulling way for the pay-per-view, I guess, having a legend come back, as well as all the legends that happened in the Rumble matches. But yeah, overall, I thought it was half decent, to be fair. So not much else to say really. But yeah, now we're on the road to WrestleMania, so it'll be interesting to see what plays out. The next pay-per-view is the Elimination Chamber, which is happening in Saudi Arabia this year, which is interesting. So I'll definitely be covering that. But for now, I'll ask you to like, subscribe, and do comment how you thought the Rumble was, and I'll see you guys soon.